Thank you, Mr. It's a pleasure to speak in this debate. I regret the backlog of 50,000 cases. Of course, anyone's going to regret that, but frankly, we regret the pandemic, and we regret all of the unprecedented challenges that all of our government departments have had to face as a result of this pandemic. I do find it interesting how I've noticed and sensed that the party opposite are trying to seem a little bit tough on law and order, which is it is slightly perplexing. Of course, this is a party that went into the last manifesto pushing a presumption against any prison sentence for those sentenced to less than 6 months unless it was rape or a violent crime. And you think about all the really incredibly nasty individuals who would have got off with no prison sentence as a result of that. I appreciate that Labour say they're under new management, so presumably we're going to see any changes. Well, it doesn't seem so, because of course you voted against the Policing Crimes Bill, which increased sentencing for those who attack and abuse our emergency services directive. The Labour Party voted against that, also voted against the tougher sentences for some of the serious offenders associated with that. The Labour Party isn't trusted on law and order, it's incredibly weak on law and order. Doesn't mean we don't need to get tougher though, so I'm going to talk about that now. I'm going to talk about one case specifically, which is in my constituency, involving Richard Day, who was a constituent of mine, who was walking home from a night out with his brother and some others, late 20. It was in the winter of it was sort of late 2020. He was walking home, and he was attacked. He was set upon and attacked by a group of young men who attacked him unprovoked. There was a punch to Richard Day's neck, and he died. And as he was dying, they stood over him, laughing at him, and went through his pockets and took his belongings. I've spoken about this before in this place, but the reason why I do so is that headline, which is protecting the public and justice for victims, because we have it right here, because the individual who was found guilty for that act was sentenced to 4 years in a young offenders institute because of his age. He was 16 at the time. Automatically let out after 2 years, and because he had 14 months on remand, essentially, in about 9 months' time, this individual, I assume, is going to be back out on the streets of Ipswich. So, is that justice for the victim's family? No, it's not, and it's something they're going to have to live with for the rest of their life. And is that protecting my constituents who, frankly, I am wondering right now, is this man going to be back out in the streets of Ipswich in the not-too-distant future? So we've made some positive moves as a government, but there's a lot further to go. And we do need to look at the role of things like the Sentencing Council, who we've seen on pet theft, are so cut off from what the majority of people in this country want, which is tougher punishments for those found guilty of pet theft. And also our judges, who time and time again issue overly lenient and soft sentences that are meaning that many of my constituents have lost faith in the criminal justice system. So we've got to find a way of doing that, respecting the independence of the judiciary, but at the same time bringing the actual sentences we see and what the public want to see closer together, because that's the kind of society we want to live in. Bye.
Richard Hopkins.